Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I'm Michael Pinter. I teach you about flipping and wholesaling houses in New York. And I want to talk today about how much do you lose when you sell a house as is. So this is a complicated question and it has a complicated answer. And if you stick to the end, I'm going to tell you about pros and cons of how to deal with these things. But it really depends on what the problem is that you're trying to sell it as is and how severe that problem is. So the common reasons why people sell a house as is because the condition is really bad and they do not want to make repairs to it. So they might sell it as is to an investor or they might list it as is, right? It is possible. The issues are that if the problem is really bad, listing it with a realtor as is not going to help you because potential retail buyers are going to see a property that's in bad condition and they are not going to want to do the work to it because most people don't understand what's involved in doing the work. And when they see a house that's in terrible condition, they always assume it's going to cost more and that there are problems that they can't see. There are other problems that cause people to sell a house as is. So it might be a permitting issue or an unpermitted addition or an open permit or an open violation. And they're deciding that they want to, sorry, I'm really tired. They want to sell a house as is because they don't want to deal with those issues. Now, again, if you list a property like that, some buyers are going to be okay with it. Their attorneys might not be. Some lenders are going to be okay with it. Some lenders may not be. And some title companies might be okay with it, and some title companies might not be. So it really depends on what the problem is, right? If it's just condition, it depends. Now, if it is mortgageable, so that means all the systems work, right? The roof has no leaks. The plumbing works. The electricity works. All the appliances work. The bathrooms work. Kitchen works. You have the option of listing it as is, right? It's just a question of how bad it is and what potential buyers are going to think about it, right? If they say, hey, this looks terrible, and I think this is going to be a much deeper problem than I can even see on the surface, that could be a problem. You may get less money for it than you imagined. Now, understand what's the difference here. The basic options are when you sell a house, you can list it with an agent, right? Or you can sell it to an investor as is. Those are the basic options. You can list it as is if the problems aren't severe. But if problems are severe, those are your two options. So the question is how much you're going to lose selling to an investor as is. It really depends because if the other option is listing with an agent and selling it and dealing with all the issues, the buyer's going to make you deal with the issues. The buyer's going to do an inspection and the buyer's going to say, we can't buy the property unless this works, you fix that, and you do that. The question is, how much is that going to cost you? It's impossible for me to determine, right? I don't even know what the problem is. So how much do you lose? You could lose nothing, right? If everything's fine, or there's one little issue, let's say an unpermitted addition, and the buyer says, I don't care, I'll deal with it eventually. And the buyer's attorney says, we'll take it on. And the title company's okay with it, and the lender's okay with it, then you don't lose anything selling it as is. If you list it with an agent, right? Again, if you want the most money, you want to list it with an agent, right? Because that is going to show the property to the most amount of people, which is going to cause you to get the highest price. It's very simple supply and demand, right? You're showing it to the most people, increasing the demand, and especially in today's market, you're going to get the most money. That is no surprise. I'm not saying anything difficult or complicated. If you sell it to an investor, and these are the basic reasons why people sell to an investor as is, right? Either the condition is terrible, the property may not be mortgageable at all, right? If any of those things that I said before don't apply, so the roof is leaking, the kitchen doesn't work, the bathrooms don't work, even the appliances don't work, the heat doesn't work, or the plumbing's messed up, or the electrical's messed up, you can't really sell it to an end user regular buyer because they can't get a mortgage on it. So that's a reason why you might sell it to an investor. You might sell it to an investor because there's permit issues, right? Open permits from a long time ago that need to be cleared. It can take forever and are expensive. Open violations. Those are problems that a lot of buyers won't take with an open violation. It depends on what the violation is. It depends when it's from and what it is. But those are issues. There are other issues people sell to an investor. They might sell to an investor because they just don't want a lot of people running through their house. They want something simple. The basic reasons why people sell to an investor are for the certainty and convenience that an investor provides. So when I say certainty and convenience, I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. The same certainty and convenience you get when you go to Starbucks and pay $6 for a cup of coffee for something that costs probably 20 cents is you want the certainty and convenience of it. You know it's going to be there. You know what the price is going to be, and you don't have to buy the machines, grind the beans, buy stirrers, buy creamers, deal with all that crap. It's the same thing when you sell a property as is to an investor. Um, you don't want to deal with the uncertainty that a regular buyer provides. Now, I was in the mortgage business for 17 years. I can tell you without a doubt that on dozens, if not 100 occasions, people called me and said, I changed my mind on this property. Please give me a mortgage denial. It's an easy thing to give. There are a lot of grounds to deny people. Documents expire all the time. Issues happen. So if you have a regular standard contract with a buyer, and the buyer has a mortgage contingency, which is standard in the industry for a regular sale, that buyer really has a get out of contract free card. And what has happened many times, and it's happened to me, unfortunately, when I've sold my houses, is someone will drag you along for 2-3 months maybe, and then just say, sorry, I didn't get my mortgage. And you have to give them the deposit back, and that's over. So with an investor, when I go into contract to buy something as an investor, I have no outs. I don't have a mortgage contingency. I have no contingencies. The only way I can get out of the contract is if there's a problem with title. Now, some of those things I mentioned before, so open permits, open violations, could be a problem with title. Now, if I know about these things in advance, we'll put them into the contract that they don't give me an out. But if something new shows up, right, some kind of title issue, I may get out of the contract. But short of that, and I never use that except I think once, I'm closing. So that is the certainty that an investor provides. Now, there's also convenience, right? Very often you don't have to make the house broom clean when you sell to an investor. Time frame will close whenever you want. So that could be quickly if you need to close fast. And that could also be in a long time, right? Very often, I've certainly bought more properties from sellers who wanted to close slowly, like they didn't have any place to go. Like, I don't know where I'm going, or I'm buying a property that's being built, a new construction property. I don't know when they're going to finish it. I bought more properties from people who wanted more time than I bought from properties who really wanted me to close right away. Newbie investors, foolish guys, always call up people and say, I'll close in 24 hours. That's usually not the right thing to say. I always tell you, I'll close whenever you want, right? Whenever that is, whenever it's convenient for you. So that's a convenience factor. I'll close on any time frame you want. You probably don't have to clean the house up. And I don't have to bring 1 million people in there every day, calling you every night saying, hey, somebody wants to stop by. And also, I don't have to go through this thing where you accept an offer, right? In New York, it's different than other states. So in New York, what happens is when you accept an offer, someone offers you $300,000 for a house, you say, okay. Then an inspection gets done. Very often that inspection is going to yield problems, right? Inspectors' jobs are to find problems. So then they come back to you and say, remember that $300,000? Well, I want a $10,000 adjustment. And you're like, screw this. I only want to sell it for $300,000. So that's an inconvenience. And that happens very often. With an investor, it doesn't happen. There's no inspection. At least with me, there's never inspection. And whatever price I give you is the price we'll close at. So there is certainty and convenience involved in that. When you say as is, you can mean a lot of things. But as is, it really depends what part of what is the problem that you're selling as is, right? Is it a condition problem? Is it a permitting problem? What's the story, right? You have to know. There could be multiple units that are illegal, multiple kitchens and things that a regular buyer, will want you to take that kitchen out because I have to get an appraisal as a single family and you got 3 kitchens in there. Those are things that happen all the time. It really depends. So it's not an easy answer to say how much you're going to give. You're going to sell it at somewhat of a discount if you have real problems. The issue is how much are you really losing, because if you have to pay to fix those problems, you might be selling it at a price where you're not losing anything, you're gaining, right? Very often I've had people tell me, listen, I know what this is going to cost to fix. The number you gave me made more sense to me. That happens all the time. So if you're interested in selling something, you can call me anywhere in Long Island. That's not a good text. So that's the story. When you sell as is, it really depends on what the problem is. I wish I could tell you exact discount, but if you want to sell something as is to me, I'm happy to give you a price. And very often I'll give somebody a price if it's mortgageable, and I'll say, listen, this is the price you can list it at. I would list it. Sometimes I'll say I would list it for you, and this is the price I'll pay you. Let me tell you what the pros and cons are both. I do that all the time because I do both. I'm both an investor and I am a real estate broker, so I list properties too. So I try to do whatever in the seller's best interest. I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in finding out more about how I can help you, if you want to be an investor, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in a course that teaches how to become an investor in New York, go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching from me, go to, I forgot something. Sorry. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you are watching on any channel, please click like. The thumbs up really helps me. A lot more people have been seeing my videos lately, which has made me very happy. And also comments. Please keep the comments coming. I go live 5 times a week. Sometimes I don't have a clue as to what the hell I'm going to talk about. So keep the comments coming. There are no bad comments. If it's a simple comment that I can reply to and answer, I'll just answer it. If it's a topic that I've covered before or in depth, I will send you a link to a video or videos on the topic. And if it's a new topic or something I haven't covered in a long time, then I will do a video on it. So I really appreciate everybody who's watching. I really appreciate all the likes and thumbs up. Thank you very, 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 very much for watching.